Sampson.
I don't know.
If Anthony Joshua fought in the United States, would he not be a superstar over here?
He has 6 fights. He had 6 fights on Showtime. 6 fights on Showtime.
Yeah, at 6 o'clock in the afternoon.
Again, that's his promoter negotiated a poor deal. Sampson would never do that.
Sampson, would Joshua be a superstar in America if he fought over here, in your opinion?
Definitely, yes.
There you go.
So, Sampson, why wasn't he a star? He had 6 fights on Showtime.
Because he was fighting at 6 o'clock in the afternoon.
Correctamundo.
Thank you.
So, Sampson, why wouldn't a good promoter negotiate a better television slot?
Here's what you're forgetting, Ness.
Oh my God, Joe Habeeb Sampson Lewkowicz is this name.
No. Let me tell you what happened. You need to comply with the English TV. That is the reason. Yeah. And he's a superstar in his own country. But I'm pretty sure if he come to America and he do in prime time, 10 o'clock at night, he will be a superstar.
Sampson, you know what else? I hate to interrupt you, but I have to just squeeze this in here, and I apologize greatly for interrupting you. What else Ness is forgetting is he forgets that they were showing the fight at 6, then they were showing the replay again at 10. So he forgot about that.
But
they were doing that on Showtime.
But the numbers were still 300.
But
they were better. They were better.
But you see, when you're in prime time and you don't know the result of the fight,
there you go.
Different emotion.
There you go.
But that doesn't work out that way for the fans.
Told you. But
great minds think alike, man.
You're in New York, right? Today?
I am in New York.
Okay, because of the fight this weekend, correct?
No, I'm with my grandchildren, having a nice time.
Oh, okay.
I have a house. I have 2 homes, one in New York and one in Vegas.
Oh, man, bless. So I wanted to ask, I guess as a promoter that works with PBC and Fox, were you sad to not see them be able to bring Canelo to the network? Because obviously a name like Canelo gives more shine for promoters like yourself to have fighters on Fox because more eyeballs will be on the channel.
Well, look, I know Canelo actually from Pro Review, and I was, I'm very friendly, not very friendly, it's my dear friend, Eddie Reynoso, and his father. So if you see, I never retweet and I never talk about Canelo against anyone, especially against Benavidez, for respect that I do have for Canelo as well as Eddie Reynoso. But I predict that the 5 de Mayo, 2022, it will happen. I predict a year before Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. and Maravilla Martinez, and it come true. So I believe that it will happen on that day.
But you think Benavidez gets the shot because he's obviously the mandatory and now he's in the final eliminator. So Canelo faced Yeardom in February. So next February 2022, it should be called that Benavidez is the mandatory, right?
Yeah, but I don't believe that he will take the fight because it's the mandatory. He will take the fight because he wants to have that fight. That is the difference. You see, many people talk about Canelo, but to me, Canelo definitely is the number one, like it was Mayweather in his time, So, but you have against Canelo that people hate Canelo, and you have people that love Canelo, and that's where he make the money, the $40 million. He do exactly the same like Mayweather. Mayweather, people hate him, and people love him. So that is a very special, to me, it's very special boxer.
So outside of you predicting that fight will take place next year, it has not been talked about yet?
Absolutely not.
Thank you. Now, I want to dive a little more specific into that because there is a few internet rumors floating around suggesting that David Benavidez was on this, and I'm using air quotes, contract that Keller Plant was on, and it was a 3-fight deal, and it's because David was on the contract that Canelo said, no, I'm not fighting on PBC. Do you have any knowledge of this alleged contract?
No comments.
Can I take that as you don't believe it to be true?
I would say that I don't know, honestly, the details, because it was not my fight.
Okay, but that is your fighter, David Benavidez. So if
That's correct. I'm the sole promoter of David Benavidez.
so, no one can offer the services of your fighter to Canelo without consulting with you.
Absolutely not.
All right. So, I mean, this is very common business. I don't understand how the internet assumes things because I don't know. They're trying to shame Canelo as if he didn't fight on PBC because he knew he had to fight David Benavidez for whatever reason.
Can I just ask you a quick question, Sampson? Now, let's speak hypothetical here. If you were controlling Plant's career and he was about to fight Canelo, would you want that fight on pay-per-view, or would you have preferred it to be on DAZN, or would it have made a difference to you?
No, look, we have different network. We're working with PBC. So after you did the career and you invest so much money in the fighter, it'd be unfair to go to the zone, you know what I mean, or to any other network. So that is one of the reasons. But you see, everybody's talking about the press, that sometimes is totally wrong. Everybody say that my fighter is Sebastian Fundora. He will fight Garcia on the undercard of Manny Pacquiao, and it's not true. At one point, it was true that it would happen, but then, for whatever reason, it didn't happen. But people continue, the press saying that is the fight on the undercard or the co-main event. So this is the reason that sometimes people already doesn't believe on the press, especially in the social media, that they say anything, doesn't matter what. And that is the case of the contract with involved Benavidez and with Canelo in 3 fights.
Thank you.
Let me ask you another question, because you brought up a good point with the press. And I have to be honest there. I've never seen the boxing media come out with so much misinformation in my life. I've been watching this sport for close to 40 years, and I've just never seen journalists be able to continually put out story after story that has been false. Like, people on YouTube are getting the other side and they're interviewing the other side, and these rumors and stories are getting debunked. Have you ever seen it so bad in your lifetime? It's because it's been disgraceful, in my opinion.
No, I know, but it's a good reason. He want people to approve that and make money on so many tubers or whatever. So he put anything that is to be attractive, and people, he follow him. He want more followers. That's the truth. And it happened many times. It's not your case, though. I never saw that because anytime, I receive a call, this is true or not, from your side. And I say yes or no, or I cannot talk about it.
Because Mr. Gibbs likes to get more than one side. These other guys just get that one side, and it's sexy, and they run with it. So it's a difference.
No, but he's doing only because I don't understand so much about the network. I mean, the YouTubers that you make money if you have so many people involved. So it doesn't matter. He want people to follow him and doesn't give a shit about if it's true or not. So, and that is horrible, because it's horrible. I should act like Canelo. He's a horrible boxer.
You're a horrible journalist. Horrible.
He went definitely viral, but with that. But Sampson, going back to David, we had his father Jose on the show and Ronnie Shields, and they were on together. I don't know if you got to see that episode. They were going at each other because Jose seems to believe that Charlo is avoiding a fight with David. Now, a few things that have been said, and I want to know where do you stand on it. David and his father, Jose, both have said they're willing to go down to 60. As the promoter, how do you feel about that? Would you recommend your fighter to go down to 60 to face Jamal Charlo for the WBC belt? Or would you prefer him to just stay where he's at because he's a year away from a potential Canelo fight?
Let me put it this way. I strongly believe that David Benavidez, he will fight all his career in 68. And sometimes between trainer, he can say many things, but doesn't mean that it's precise the truth. Now, when the time comes and it be a good pay-per-view that each one he can make $10 million, you will see the fight with Charlo. Happen to be
10 million? Whoa. So you say, wait a minute, because you're the promoter. Are you saying you won't put you won't put David Benavidez in the ring with Charlo unless he's getting paid 10 million?
No. I say when each one of the fighters, he can make $10 million, he will fight.
But that's what I'm saying. So you're saying that fight isn't ready till the...
Look, each one of them, he make good money. So the risk is very big for both of them. So we need to get paid accordingly.
Holy,
so I will say that.
But Sampson, that's a lot of money. But that's a lot.
Well, but if you sell, I will say 500,000 pay-per-view, you can afford 10 million for each. The problem is, I don't believe in this moment it will make 500K.
Wow.
500.
I think 500 is attainable. I think that people believe Charlo will lose so much, and then Benavidez is moving down, so you sell the whole 3-time champion, daring to be great. I mean, 500 is difficult when you think about Gervonta Davis doing 215, and Charlo and his brother only did 120, and David was only on an undercard for Earl but he had I was there. It was like people were definitely cheering for El Bandera Roja when he came out for that ring walk. That's interesting. Wow, $20 million, Beeb. Did you expect that?
No, did not.
I didn't expect that. Wow. I wonder what Eddie says now. You think Eddie, now that he hears this interview, would he come out and say, Sampson, here's $20 million. Come on, do it on Dazn. How do you get Al to agree to that? What if Eddie now says, here's 20?
It will not happen. It will not happen with Eddie Hearn. It will not happen in Dazn. It will happen only in PBC. The only thing is it's not ready yet for the 500,000 viewer.
What needs to happen?
I believe next year, watch out. If Canelo doesn't want
Benavidez
and he give up the title, why not? Cinco de Mayo. Remember, Benavidez is Mexican too.
Yeah. And Ecuadorian. Let's promote that because there's a lot of Ecuadorians out there.
My wife is Ecuadorian, so I love that. And I know the mother is a beautiful person, you know. But I believe that, sometimes money talk and bullshit walk. And I believe that 160 will never happen. So he need to go up. And because he's the champion in 160, he can request to be the mandatory. So he be between 1 and 2. That he can sell. I believe May Cinco de Mayo, it can happen. If it doesn't happen, the Canelo. Now, it's another thing. Everybody's talking about 40 million that he's making, and he was ready to pay that much. So why not 10 for each one?
I mean, because it's Canelo Alvarez. You know what? I mean, if you invest 40 in Canelo, you can make it back on pay-per-view buys, and you want to woo him too.
If Canelo doesn't happen Cinco de Mayo, it could happen that particular fight. But one thing, it will not happen with plan. Because the only way to happen with plan is if it's a unification. David Benavidez, he need to be a world champion to unify with the IBF champion. That is another pay-per-view.
So just to be clear for my audience that went over their head, you're saying you won't let David and Plant fight until David is once again a champion.
That's correct.
Wow. Okay. Very good. Interesting information.
In this business, sometimes it's missing loyalty. Need to be loyal to the WBC and Mauricio Suleiman. And the right thing to do is to fight for his title and then unify. Not because the moment that he fight for the IBF, he would lose the chance to fight ever with anyone in 168 with the WBC. I strongly believe that if he doesn't fight Canelo on Cinco de Mayo with Benavides, he will give up the title or he be again a franchise in 168.
But that's my thing, right? You've been in this situation with Javier Fortuna, Devin Haney. Now you find yourself in this situation with Benavidez and Canelo. I mean, is it not frustrating to you that your mandatory challenger isn't guaranteed an opportunity at Canelo, who is the champion?
Again, in the end of the day, besides to be a sport, is business. Boxing is business and then sport. And that is the price you need to pay.
Why do you think Canelo's never fought Gilberto Ramirez? That's another Mexican. Because, you know, we're talking about David getting a shot, but it seems like outside of Julio Cesar Chavez Jr., he really doesn't fight Mexicans. Are you fearful that he may not give another Mexican an opportunity, or you have had conversations with him or with Eddie, or do they look forward to an all-out Mexican affair?
Again, I never talk about...
Well, no, not in public. I mean, behind closed doors when you see Eddie.
No. Even closed door. I never talked to Eddie Reynoso, if you're referring to Eddie Reynoso.
Yes.
But confront each other.
Okay.
So beside that, look, if one thing is for sure, I need to devote myself, my knowledge, and defend my fighter. So till today, I didn't have no choice because he didn't earn the right to get his title. After August 28th, you have all the right to request that title, and I will support him. And then I will talk to Eddie Reynoso and his team, because it needs to happen one way or the other.
I think you know, what you said makes a lot of sense as well, because David Benavidez held that WBC title twice. So there's a respect level between David Benavidez and the WBC. So I have to imagine, I feel pretty confident that he would get that shot if the WBC had anything to do with it.
Well, when everybody turned his back to David,
WBC was there.
Youth, and he make a mistake, and he told me once, all the money that I make, it come without instruction. And to be in Vegas is a lot of bad people. And, you know, I don't want to defend David.
You don't have to. He was a young champion, though. But he was a young champion, so kids make mistakes, man.
But the thing about David is he owned up to his mistakes, and we've interviewed him before on I've interviewed him before on other platforms. He's always owned up to his mistakes, and he's always said, "I'm willing to get back in line and earn my shot." So it's hard to not root for the guy. I'm not going to say root for the guy, but it's hard to not really support the guy and you know, believe in the guy, because again, he's not making excuses for what he did. He's owning up. He's being a man about it. So you have to respect him for that. In other words,
yeah. He was a man. He never tried to hide. He make a mistake, but he never again. And he all the tests after that he already passed several years. He never come up with anything illegal.
Absolutely.
And that's the reason that sometimes your son, he make a mistake and he apologize and he remember the mistake. On the case, the second time why he lost the title, everybody said, not everybody, but many people say, especially some press, that he was irresponsible, that he was not a professional. But look, it was the first fight on the bubble that we have allowing only 1 hour per day to exercise in the gym. When he got used all his career to be 10 days before and have his own the gym for several hours, I mean, all this he create that he couldn't make the weight. So it's not really his fault. COVID-19, he make many strange situations that this pandemic it was a kill not only for the sport of boxing, every sport, and many people lost his life, millions lost his life with that. So I believe that the bubble, it was good because boxing, it went back, but it never was the same kind of fight that you say, what a fight, because no one, it was 100% in the bubble.
So Sampson, to be clear, does Jose and David have access to Al? Like, would Al call them and say, hey, we're going to put you against Canelo? Like, that wouldn't happen either, right?
No,
All right.
never.
Just being clear because, I want to debunk those rumors. Now I want to ask about some other fighters. Obviously, I see Jaime Arboleda is going to be fighting in Panama for a WBA regional. Talk to us about Jaime and who is that? Barrios?
No, it's Jonathan Barros.
Yeah.
He's former champion.
Yes.
What happened in Panama that I received a call that the message was from the president, Nito Cortizo, the president of Panama, that it let me know that he trusts me, my work, to bring back boxing in Panama. That I'm very honored. I went to Panama with the IBF president, Daryl's people.
Oh, nice.
It was Mauricio Suleiman for the WBC, and we worked out a plan, and he said, "I'm so happy that he did it public, that you come to rescue the boxing in Panama." As you know, I'm very pro the amateur fighters. Mm-hmm. Why? Because the raw materials for the future of our sport. Mm-hmm. So I do every week, every Sunday, I do shows in my country, in Uruguay, only amateurs. I do sometimes between 10 and 12 fights every Sunday in Uruguay. That it creates the future champions, like I did it with Amilcar Vidal Jr., that you saw it in PBC already 3 times. So the same thing, I try to do it in one way or the other in Panama and rebuild the amateurs in Panama. We call them a torneo, which is tournament, Mercosur, on rumbo a Mexico, which is on the way to Mexico. And we have the approve and the support of Mauricio Suleiman that 6 of the winners stay for 2 months in Mexico, and he fight and he learn. From that program, he came Amilcar Vidal Jr. So I believe that can you hear me now?
We hear you.
Yeah. So I believe I can do something similar in
Panama.
In Panama.
Now, are you going to have any TV, any streaming? How do we see it here in America, or is it only for Panama?
No, in America, it's TYC Sport.
TYC Sports.
469 is the channel. And all South America.
Okay.
So, I mean, I believe that that I wish that other promoters will work in the amateur, not waiting for the Olympics and pick up one with money. That do my job to do from scratch and do tournaments, But sometimes there's many promoters that doesn't really love boxing. It's a business, and for me, I love boxing and I love all my kids, and I respect the fighters, and I believe that is what I'm very successful in this business.
And what can we expect from Jason Rosario? Do you think he will be coming back? How long of a rest do you want to give him before you have him consider a fight? Will he be moving up if the layoff is long? What is your plan?
It was very hard for him to make the 54, so he's going to 60, and I believe that he will be back early next year because he needed really rest.
And obviously Javier Fortuna, suffered a loss, unfortunately, against Jojo Diaz, the former Olympian, former IBF champion. What's next for Javier? How is he feeling, and what is he thinking? Is he coming back?
Well, I have an X-ray that he broke his finger in the second round.
Damn.
And that it was the reason of his loss. But he doesn't want to disclose because he doesn't like excuses. He lost the fight. Even though it was much closer, but it's part of the business. So hopefully he will have a shot one more time by the end of the year, God willing. And I really like it if we can rebuild with Jorge Linares. That would be the fight that I believe will be both lost the last fight.
Damn, but Linares says he's back in October, so Javier will be back in by October or no?
I don't know if it's who say that he's coming back in.
Linares posted on his Instagram that he's back in October. Haney's back in October. Jojo wants.
Because Haney, it doesn't mean that it's true.
Huh? Excuse me?
I said if he posts Haney, especially his father, I don't know if it's true or not.
Yeah, his father said on the show that Dazn told them they got an October date.
Well, my understanding is not any longer with Dazn. I told you that.
No, he's not with Dazn. He's not with Dazn on paper, but he's got a date for October.
I like to see it. October.
I mean, remember that Eddie Hearn himself said in the media that Haney is still a matchroom guy. He's just not tied to a network so they can make the big fight. He called him like Canelo.
Well, and
yo, let me text Bill, man. So you don't believe you? So you think? So wait a minute. So what is your interpretation? You think that Dazn said, "Oh, this guy's not a puncher. He's not bringing subscribers. We're cutting him." Or are you saying they cut him from the network?
I don't say that because I'm not in that network. But I have my doubts that he will be back with Dazn without Eddie Hearn. Eddie Hearn, he complied with his contract, and then by understand he says sayonara. But I know he's talking with Bob Arum and his people.
But you're a promoter, Sampson. I mean, don't you think that a guy like Devin is more viable to a network like Dazn than, let's say, Andre, who they did re-sign?
Probably, definitely yes. But when you don't like the team, the way he acts, sometimes.
Oh, you blaming it on Daddy Bill?
That's correct, Mundo.
I mean, but according to Bill, he's been nothing but compliant.
Look, your people forget, but Bill say that he's the partner of
Eddie
Hearn.
I mean, yeah, because he's DHP and they got a co-promotion.
No, but it's no partnership.
Co-promotion doesn't mean partnership?
That's correct, Mundo.
Okay. So he used the wrong term. Come on, Sampson.
The term. I don't want to be against him, but really, I believe they avoid totally Fortuna, and if it doesn't break the finger, which I do have X-rays, if I need to show, but Fortuna is a man that he have a lot of proud. He's very proud man that he will not say that he lost because he broke his finger. You know what I mean? In the second round. So, but he continued 10 more rounds with a broken finger in one hand. You saw that he didn't use the left, almost.
Let me ask you, obviously, with your expertise and being in this business so long, Bill seems to believe that the Rolly fight is a possibility. Do you think Showtime would be interested in Devin versus Rolly? And do you think that a Mayweather and a Leonard would allow Devin to fight a Rolly?
I wish that he said, I want to fight a real fight with Michelle Rivera. La Salsa Ali.
La Salsa, but he's 140. He's 140, not
No,
135.
135. 135. The last fight he 135, and he fought in 140 only because he had no fights, and he took the fights regardless because he know he can beat anybody. But I want to hear that Rolly, instead to say I won Javante Davis, or he say I won Henny, or I won. We have a mandatory that.
So Michelle's the mandatory.
There is a mandatory for any one of the WBA champion. Why? Because he beat Joe Fernandez from Spain on the last fight for an elimination bout. So about if we had some responsibility for Rolly or some responsibility for whoever be, including Javante Davis,
but
to say,
Rolly,
mandatory in 135 pounds.
But is Rolly? I don't think Rolly gets the mandatory. He's the interim. He's not the regular.
I don't know, but the rules change.
So you want to get that mandated, huh?
I know, but I believe that it could happen, that fight, and the winner fight the champion.
I think, but look, you gotta let Vasil do something in another sanction about it, because he's number 2, Michelle's 3, and then Rolly's number 1. Tank is the regular, and then Teofimo is the super. Like hay mucha. There's a lot of titles there, man.
I know, but you know what? Everybody's against the WBA. That they have so many titles.
It's
but
a
nobody
lot.
say that is very happy champions that they make decent money and stay 10 rounders. And the TV love the interim.
Yeah, but it adds confusion.
The fans don't like it. The fans don't like it.
I don't know. Look,
Samson, you like it because that 10-round fight brings in more money for you too. That's why you gonna like it.
You're supposed to like it, Sampson. It's hard for us to like it.
It's a business
that
for you.
That is true. So
that's fair. Is that fair enough?
That is true. But listen, I got some more here because you got a bunch of fighters. Sebastian Fundora, man, what's going on with my Spaniard? Is he gonna fight Sergio or no?
Sergio Garcia. He will fight. Happened to be that we're supposed to fight on the 21st of August.
Mm-hmm.
Because on the undercard of Manny Pacquiao, it couldn't happen.
Now, wait a minute. Teach my audience, because usually when it's a pay-per-view undercard, that means the promoter provides the purse, right?
That's correct.
So why didn't it happen? Why you couldn't make it happen, champ?
One of the reasons is that Garcia is in Spain.
Mm-hmm.
You need to quarantine 15 days in Mexico or Dominican Republic, the only 2 countries that he will accept the quarantine. If you go to England, you need to have, again, or Australia, I believe, more than England. But in Australia, in a case, you need to be 15 days on quarantine. So that it was part of the reason that it is too risky to come to a different country, stay 15 days. So we have the decision to fight him in September.
Okay, that's not bad.
September it was if Canelo happened.
Oh, so on that undercard.
It's out of the card, so now we're looking in October.
Damn. Because you need to put it on a pay-per-view. The network doesn't want to buy it?
No, they never buy it, for sure. But we want to put it in a big stage. Okay. Because I believe that it's a really 50-50 fight. Anybody can win. And Fundora demonstrate that it's really likable because it's full of, 100% action. Even though he's 6'6", he fight inside, so people love it. What happened on the last fight with Cota is the proof that that people love it.
How long will you wait to make this Sergio Garcia fight before you let Fundora take another fight, not to be out of the ring too long?
No, he will not take another fight. He will fight in October with Garcia.
All right. So you're for sure you're confident it will happen in October.
Definitely.
Which October is what, like a Tank undercard you're talking?
And one of the major cards.
Because Tank announced October.
Okay. One of the major.
All right, let me see what else you got.
I cannot think who can be the opponent of Tank, to be honest with you.
So yeah, let's talk about that. Have you seen the internet and all the headlines? Have you seen Leonard Ellerby and what he said? Do you believe it?
I didn't see it, honestly.
Leonard Ellerby said that if Keith Thurman is serious, Tank will knock him the F out, and they would make that fight right now in 2 seconds. Do you think Keith Thurman's been out of the ring long enough, injured long enough, that Mayweather and Ellerby would take that sort of chance moving Tank to 147?
To be honest with you, I never thought about it. I never saw it because on the past week, I was working almost 24/7 with my lawyers and a special team that very soon, probably by next week, I will let.
You might as well announce it now. Come on, Sampson.
No, I'm telling you, I'm working in something very, very special.
Oh, man. I'm not special enough to announce it here. I mean, Beeb, you not special, Beeb?
No, because I need the approval of the network. But I'm telling you, I will surprise.
Tell the network you want to come announce it with us here next week, man. But
next
tell us.
Week, I let you know. But I mean,
on a scale of 1 to 10, how big is it? On a scale of 1 to 10, how big is this?
I would say 9.
Wow!
Whoa! All right,
that's big. That's big.
And I know, you know who will love it? Your people,
Dominicans.
Your people will love it.
Okay. So what you doing like So you're doing like an all Dominican tournament?
No, you have no idea.
Yes, let's be surprised now.
Okay,
Don't try to open up your gifts before Christmas. Let's go.
That's correct. But I work 5 days, almost 24/7, because from different countries and few things, you know, and it's involved, believe it or not, 7 promoters.
Wow.
7.
So this
may be a tournament, Ness.
Yeah, Showbox is back. Maybe Boxing After Dark is back. But listen, we're not gonna keep trying to.
Let's wait and see if the network.
Gonna wait and see. We'll wait and see.
Yeah.
But I'm telling you that every one of you on the press, especially you people that love so much our sport, you'll be really so happy.
Well, I can't wait. I do want to ask about this Michelle Rivera and Adrian Broner rumor from a few months ago. Is that something that could be revisited, or is Adrian Broner just not part of the plans anymore?
But what happened in that the same day that the offer was made, I was in the hospital. And 3 hours before my surgery. So I couldn't talk to my fighter. I was not available for the next 5-6 days. And by that time, everything blew up. Because if I can say Michelle Rivera is one of the smartest fighters I ever saw, besides to be by language. And the first Dominican that he come to this country understand and speak English. So he's very smart, and he was missing my advice how to make this fight happen. So it didn't happen. And I don't believe that Broner, that I know him from Pro Debut, and he knocked few of my guys in the beginning of his career, and I believe on him, but he makes so many mistakes, so many problems with his name. Like his nickname is perfect, the problem. I don't believe even he will come back because he's in a stage of, in a situation that is really in a very bad shape. Because I say all the time that you have too many friends when you're a champion, but when you lose that status, even the shadow doesn't follow you. You look at on the side, there is no shadow. All he turned his back. and he makes several mistakes, stupidity, that now he paid the price. So I don't know if he ever come back. And if he come back, I don't know if he be ready for really a good, a challenger fight.
So when do we get to see my Dominican from San Cristobal, 15-0, 12 KOs? How good is he? Because, I mean, obviously, he's got all these knockouts in Santo Domingo, so it's like, is he real?
You're talking about Castillo?
Yes, Castillo.
Well,
Sparkinson. How is this first? You got to change that first name. How the hell are we going to promote a guy's first name? Beeb, his name is Sparkinson Wilson Castillo. We need to drop Sparkinson. That's too crazy. We
call him Sparky.
We got to go with Wilson Castillo, AK or Sparky Wilson Castillo.
Besides that, you forgot Starling.
What?
Starling.
Oh
Wilson.
my God! I just see the birth name says Starling. His name is Sparky Sparkingson Starling Wilson Castillo. Oh my Lord, that's Diablo.
Okay. Let me put it this way: he's supposed to fight on September 5th in PVC.
All right.
Every opponent is saying no.
So you can't fight him a fight.
I cannot find a fight. I believe that the same thing happened to me with Sebastian Fundora. The same thing happened to me with David Benavides.
And you want this fight at what? At 135? You want this fight at 135?
135, correct.
In September.
Yeah.
I got somebody for you.
Oh, I love it.
10-0, 10 KOs from Canada. What's up?
The what?
10-0, 10 KOs from Canada. What's up?
I take it.
All right, I'm gonna send you the box rec right now. He's managed.
Call his management.
No, I'm gonna. You know his manager, and so does Al. It's a perfect fight. You guys can do business. His manager is Phil Greco, the former welterweight, and his advisor is David Iskowitz, the former CEO of Rock Nation. Remember him?
Yeah, definitely is my. He called me Papa. Papa.
Well, Papa's gonna want to do some business because they need a fight. I'm sending it. I'll send it to your WhatsApp.
Papa to call me.
All right, I will.
Listen, my fight is fight anybody. No one like Fortuna or anyone. He will say no. Whoever come.
Let me see if Phil is available. See if we make a deal here. But so tell me about this guy though, because 135, he seems to be a puncher. That's a division that's very sexy right now. How far you see this guy coming? I know you got a great eye for boxing. You've got, Maravilla under your belt, Sergio Martinez, Manny Pacquiao, David Benavides. List goes on and on. You obviously have an eye for talent. So how far can this Dominican go, Mr. Castillo?
Well, let me put it this way. You can tell him to Henny that he will fight him now.
Come on, Sampson. We all know he's not going to fight him now.
Okay, so let's see. But I would say 3 fights.
3 fights.
But I'm willing to throw him against any champion in this moment to show you how good he can be. Let me tell you about this story.
Yes, I want to hear a story.
10 years old. Castillo. 10 years old. And his sister, Katy Pameda Castillo, he was my champion. He was one of the first champion in Dominican Republic. I was her promoter. And he was only 10 years old, and he came to me. I went to the house of Katy, and he came to me, skinny, small kid, and he said, Sampson, I want to be a boxer, and you be my promoter, and I will be a champion. 10 years old. And that is true story. And I can tell you that in this moment, I believe that he will knock Henny out in 4 rounds. And I put not 50,000, I will put $100,000 this time. I cannot hear you.
Yeah, no, I'm sending Phil Greco the link. I want him to jump on. See, can we make this fight? 13, 15
But
and
you hear
0.
what I say?
Well, I was making a call, Beeb.
It will
you ain't have my
knock
back?
Castillo. It will knock Henny in 4 rounds.
Nah, I don't believe that, man.
Bet $100,000.
I don't believe that. Listen, Sampson.
Okay. You don't believe? Okay.
He hasn't even.
I will prove to you that you.
He hasn't even been 10 rounds yet.
Don't, because he will not go to 10. I told you 4.
Well, he went 8 with someone in DR, which that right there, that's not a good sign.
Well,
it's combat math, Ness. You can't always play combat math in boxing.
I mean, he's got to listen. The Dominican Republic is known.
Remember today, it will be a champion. I will knock any one of the champions in this moment.
So when
trust me.
Put him in there with Jorge Linares.
He will not take the fight. I'm pretty sure of that.
I mean, because no one knows this guy. You gotta put him in there.
Nobody knows this guy, but nobody wants to fight him.
You gotta
Why? Because it's not the great money.
Exactly. This
when
guy's not,
money. Everybody wants to fight him.
Yeah, you gotta build him up. You gotta put some names on. Get him a Beltran. Try to get him a Beltran fight or Argenis Mendez, 135. Is he ready for Mendez?
Well, let me put it this way: it's both Dominican. It'd be very hard to sell it.
What? Mendez is a former world champion, and you put him in there with a puncher.
Yeah, but he broke his hands on the last fight.
Tough sell, Ness. Tough sell.
I think Sampson knows Mendez left hook is serious, man. He don't. That's a little too much for the kid right now, huh? That left hook a little too much. That's what I'm saying. We got to give him a step at a time. We can't rush him.
Start to knock the first guy out that you bring it the 10-0 with 10 KOs. How about that one?
I sent you the link. Did you see it? Let me see that I sent it.
No, you sent. Let me see now. 1 second. Let me check it out.
Lucas Bahdi, man. Here goes Phil. Phil, you need to call into the Skype so you could be on with the promoter if you want to make this fight happen.
Well, let me see if I can get back to you. Okay, I'm back to you. I take the fight without to see it, and now I saw it, and I take it again.
So, Phil, I got Sampson to saying, come and get on this call if you want to make this fight happen. Go ahead, put that phone number in. Sampson, the promoter's on the line waiting for you. Let's go. Let's make a deal. I'm gonna call Lucas. Let me get Lucas on the phone. What's going on? So you'll take the fight. Why? Because you see that he's fought in Mexico? What is it? What is it about Lucas that you don't fear?
Who, Lucas?
The fighter I sent you, Lucas Bahdi, 135-pound killer from Canada.
Oh, okay. The Prince you're talking about.
Yes, Prince Bahdi.
Yeah, well.
The Prince versus Castillo.
Let's put it this way, if he can beat my guy, he'd be a king. I will upgrade it. But you need to beat my guy. You need to beat Castillo.
Castillo, let's make that fight. I mean, I'm sure he can be available for September. Late September, you know.
No, September 5th.
No, that's 30 days. Come on. It's 30 days.
This is the date I have.
What's the purse?
Oh, you can't divulge that.
I'm making the fight. I'm gonna get a matchmaking fee. This is my fight. I at least want a booking fee.
Okay, I will give you, but happen to be that it's not a lot of money. The opening bout in FS1. If you know the business, you know how much. It's not about money. This is about fame.
It's about
3,000. That's 3,000.
So it's TV. 3,000. So it's TV. This is a TV bout. I'm gonna make this fight. I'm gonna get when I'm done with you. I will definitely call him, let him know. See, I don't think they knew it was TV, but he's trying to create the account. But if it's
here, bro.
Oh, you're here, baby. It's FS1. It's FS1, Daddy. Nesta got you the goods. Phil Greco, I'd love to introduce you to my good friend Sampson Lewkowicz. I'm sure you know him and the great work that he does. And Sampson, I'm sure you know the former welterweight contender Phil Greco out of Canada. He is the manager of Lucas Bahdi, the Prince. I don't know. Is Lucas available for he's saying September 5th, man. Is that too soon?
Well, my fighter is always ready, right? He's always training. So
that is good.
I think, my humble opinion, I've been a fighter, so I know fighters. In my humble opinion, he is the best unknown prospect in boxing today, period. The best unknown prospect. The reason why he's unknown, he got screwed by not going to the Olympics by the national committee. He didn't sign with anybody. He's trying to build his career on his own till I came in. And, he's knocking guys out in the gym. I mean, he's knocking world-class fighters in the gym, world-class fighters that are ranked in the gym, top 10.
Phil, don't scare Sampson off. He's
no,
test.
I got so scared that I take the fight. Put it that way.
Let's go.
Let's see. He wants to fight this. He wants to fight. Don't try to talk him out of it.
Now, we don't back out on no challenges, obviously, like anything else. This is a business. Things have to make sense, right? Let's not get it twisted.
The only problem that I have is FX1. If you're in the business, that doesn't pay much. This is about to go to the next level. If he win, stay with Ole King.
But the great thing about my fighter is that he's got plenty of options. Luckily, we have a lot of options. You have the support. He has a city behind him. You have the city mayors behind him. He's got almost a whole country behind him. So the options are there. So obviously, I'm always open to. I don't know. Nesta just messaged me right now. He goes, hop on a Skype. He goes, this is fight.
I'll give you his number though. I'll send you Sampson's number so you guys could talk off air and get it done. But it is a television fight on Fox Sports 1. It's something to consider, and you can get the numbers off air. But
good exposure.
Have you seen the box rack? Did you see the?
I gotta talk. Don't forget, Lucas signed as well with a friend of mine who I'm sure Sampson knows, David Iskovich. He's the advisor for Lucas. So we have to, I'm a decision maker, but as well I have to support Dave's interest in the kid and see what he also thinks about it, right? So actually he's messaging me right now saying which guy.
Yes, so, send them the link. Send them the link because.
Okay, tell him to David Iskovich to call Papa of boxing.
I'm about to text David right now.
That he put it on me. But he called me Papa of boxing.
No, but listen, I've obviously this is the first time you and I ever chatting. I've heard great things about yourself. Sam Watson always talked about you. I mean, Sam has been like an uncle to me, and I look forward to doing business together. Something will pop up. I'm sure. If it's not today, might not be tomorrow, but someday, right? So always open communication.
Listen, Sam Watson is my brother with different mother. So
yeah, of course. I remember when I took the fight with Spence in 2 days. You got 1 week. Thinking that I wasn't gonna make the weight.
Wait a minute, Phil.
But I'm sure I made the weight for that night.
Phil.
Yeah.
Didn't you get 1 week notice? Not 2 days. You got 1 week.
2 days.
Samson.
36 hours, 16 pounds, man.
But he had 7 days notice, right, Samson?
For what?
For the fight, for the Spence fight.
2 days.
You sure? I thought you had 7 days notice. I'm sorry.
2 days, man. Right? 2 days. Actually, on the scorecards, go on the MGM, I was actually winning. I won the first round on all the scorecards, and then I obviously got started losing also. But whatever, I won the fight, probably not. I would have said would have went to distance, but it was a long time ago. But I remember Sampson was there. Well, he brought a fighter, and he was hoping that I wasn't going to make the weight so his fighter could get on the show. I'm like, no, I'm making the weight.
Oh, I remember. It was in Mexico.
No, in Vegas for the Broner Porter fight. He was on the undercard versus Earl Spence.
Oh.
Yeah. So, anyways, but yeah, I'll talk it over with Dave. And what day is it? Let me take some notes.
September 5th.
Oh, it's around the corner. Nice.
It's 30 days, 29, 30 days away. I told him it's not enough time, but once he said TV, I said, all right, we'll think about it.
It's 29 days. 29 days.
Yeah.
Lucas, I mean, Lucas told me he was working, but we got to see how he's feeling. I tried to reach out. He's not available. It would have been good to have him on. Actually, he did read it.
But it'd be wrong, it'd be wrong to bother the kid, because the fighters, he will take the fight, regardless.
Yes.
Because afraid of nobody. So it's wrong to put the fighters on the line. Let them be the management and the promoter to make the decision.
Absolutely. I mean, Phil, though, as a former fighter, when you look at this guy Castillo's record, and he's never been past 8 rounds, he's only fought Dominicans. I mean, off the naked eye, what are you thinking?
They can say the same about Lucas. He's fought in Mexico most of his fights, but my guy's the real deal. And time is going to tell for sure, obviously. I've scattered, when I wanted to get into this game, I must have scattered at least 30 fighters to pick one, because I'm sure Sampson can tell you how hard it is to manage fighters. They call you with all their problems. You got to be a problem solver. You got to be a father figure. I don't got the time for that. And I said, I want to take my time. I scattered over 30 to pick one, and I'm blessed that he's actually from my city of Niagara Falls, where we have big plans for the city in boxing. I mean, when you have the city mayors, the cities, all the hotel owners wanting to do big fights, big lights, as I call it, in Niagara Falls. It's just a matter of time where we're going to put the city in the world of boxing on the map, for sure. And it's going to happen through Lucas. The good thing about this kid, he does have options. So let's see. You know what I mean?
What's the COVID restrictions looking like in Niagara Falls right now?
It's actually doing much better than the U.S. It's pretty much, you still got to wear a mask, in certain places. When you go inside like a restaurant, then you got to take off your mask and you sit down. And but it's starting to loosen up, but it's still like, I cannot do a boxing show until the end of the year maybe, but I don't trust it. So I'll probably do one early next year, because I had a show lined up at Niagara Falls, and then COVID hit. So I'm like, I don't want to do all the work, and then 2 weeks later, I got to cancel the show, and
Well, that's why we're gonna knock out this deal, get you on this FS1 card, right, Sampson?
Anytime. I took the fight already.
He took the fight already. So it's an opener, you said.
Yeah, an opening bout. Yeah.
Opening bout.
Well, what I'll do, Sam, I'm just going to connect you also with Dave. Does he have your number?
I'll send it to him.
Yes.
Yeah.
I know this kid since he was working with Ludi Vela. So
yeah. What's your background, brother? What's your background? Where are you from?
Uruguay.
I'm Uruguay.
Oh, you're from Uruguay. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, gentlemen.
I understand Spanish. Comprendo.
Qué bueno. Well, gentlemen, I don't want to keep you any longer. I want to thank the both of you, obviously, for coming on. Let's see if we can make a deal. Don't forget TBV when you make it to the top. Sampson, thank you for always being available. And Phil, thank you for hopping on short notice, brother.
My pleasure, man.
Please,
you guys have a good day.
Give out your social media before you go, both of you.
Remember that if he beat my guy, I will call him a king and stay a prince.
He said
if you beat your guy, you're going to call him a king?
Instead of a prince.
But he's already a prince. So
he will deserve it if he beat my guy.
Listen, he's already a prince. So he's just on the borderline of being called a king. Sooner or later, he will be a king.
He needs that fight. He needs that fight to be a king, is what Sampson is saying.
He'll be an emperor. He's going to be an emperor.
Is it an 8-rounder? What is it? 10-rounder? I don't know.
Up to you. You want 8? We do 8, 10.
Yeah.
Oh my God, the confidence.
I would do 8. I would do 8 because it's only a month away. Let's do 8. Do 8.
He's never been 10 though. I don't know. You might want to take him to deep waters.
I would do 8.
Does it really make sense fighting two undefeated guys fighting an 8-rounder for peanuts? Let's be honest.
Television exposure.
when my guy.
Listen, my guy.
The opening fight, though. It's the opener. It's the opener.
It's the
opener.
television exposure. I mean, 2 undefeated guys, the winner is going to move on for bigger and bigger things.
It's just a matter of time where Lucas will get the exposure.
Sampson, are you more confident in your guy?
You know when you have so many options? You know, it's like a pretty girl. Look,
I'm pretty sure that David Iskovich will call me up to say hello.
Oh, to say no? Again? He said...
Say it again?
But it's a good try.
I will gonna talk. I'm gonna text him right now. He's texting me right now. Actually, hold on. Let me text him. Wait.
Okay. I sent him all the information. He's probably mulling it over right now. It looks like you're right. All right, Sampson, take it easy. Thank you for coming on.
God bless you all.
Likewise.
Stay blessed, my friend.
All right.
Stay blessed. Take care, guys. I gotta go.
No problem.
Right.
Phil, take it easy, man. We appreciate you. All right.
Nice meeting you.
There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Phil Greco and Sampson Lewkowicz. Let's play Make a Deal. I'm trying to make a deal here, Beeb.
Yo, if you enjoyed the video, feel free to hit the like, subscribe, and share. As always, if you want to support us to the next level, head over to the patreon.com/ThaBoxingVoice. We have tons of exclusive from Border Wars, Entitled, betting shows, the list goes on and on and on. But in addition to that, if you guys have questions for fighters, trainers, and promoters, this is where you can submit them. We will run out, get these questions answered, and put it back on the show just for you guys. Appreciate it. Peace.